How many times is it I watched a happy pair of lovers walking in the night? He had a clone.
What are you singing?
Watched Hunchback the other night.
Oh, you were telling me that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really depressing, but it's really good.
It's very depressing.
It's a really good Disney movie, though.
It's one of the underrated ones.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's towards the end of the Renaissance.
Oh, the period we were talking about. Like
Yeah.
I think meant the Renaissance. I was like,
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Disney came out towards the end of the Renaissance.
One of the concept designers was Da Vinci.
Da Vinci was not part of the Renaissance. Was he? Wait a second. No, wait. No.
I think we just fucked up that joke.
I don't give a fuck. I'm so tired.
This is Tommy.
And this is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
What are y'all doing?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm trying to get this lined up so we can see it. Okay, cool.
Nice. I hope everybody's doing good. Another week, another time, another episode, another day. Jacob is tired, everybody. I'm just going to be forward. I'm going to try to keep the energy up. I just chugged a Red Bull.
Yeah. Then he crushed it on his forehead.
I should have done that.
Can you do that?
A small Red Bull can? Yeah, I could probably do that. I mean, it's not going to collapse completely, but you know.
Well, then we got your challenge next week.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Gush.
As I cut my head open on a fucking aluminum can.
The show must go on. The show must go on.
Okay, so this week we are doing a movie review.
I'm feeling really musical today. Yes, we are. I don't know what.
You're the opposite. We've switched places, apparently.
Feeling real musical today. Yes, we are doing a movie review. Welcome. We are doing March 6th, 2006, Ultraviolet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet.
There's a few Ultraviolets out there, but
is there really? Oh yeah,
there
kind of
a
was
TV show.
Yeah.
There's a 90s movie.
And oh man, yeah, I wanted a reason, man. I'm failing hard. Anywho, the 2006 Ultraviolet specifically. I mean, we'll talk about her later, but starring Milla Jovovich.
Yes,
and she's literally she was the driving force of this movie, and then in advertisement and stuff. So. I chugged a Red Bull, by the way.
Was that me last week after I sucked down my soda water?
Yeah, but I think I edited it out.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Ultraviolet, March 6, 2006, right?
Yes, March 6, 2006.
I have March 3rd, 2006.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh. Oh, March 3rd!
Yeah. Damn it.
I win something, and I don't know what it is
yet. I was going off memory, and I failed.
Do you have Tommy synopsis?
Yes, I have a 15-word today.
15-word Tommy synopsis for Ultraviolet is?
In a not-too-distant future, lab-made vampire-like creatures fight for their species' survival.
All right. I like that. The only thing that is that kind of not too distant, 50 years-ish.
It's not too distant.
We might still be alive at that time, actually.
Hope not. That's so far.
50 years, you'd be 70, and I'd be you'd be late 70s, I'd be early 80s. You know, with how technology is going and medical science, we're gonna live until our hundreds probably.
Not if I have anything to say about it. My lifestyle. Anyways.
Oh, this got so sad.
I do not apologize.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's got a very low IMDb rating. It's got a 4.5 out of 10, which
do you remember what is the lowest one that we've done? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I think it was a 4.4. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Let me review.
Yeah, hold on one second, folks.
Real quick. Spirits.
Cool World.
Cool World was 4.9.
Oh, what?
Yeah, this actually might be the lowest one. Because, I think Cool World was the lowest at the time. Yeah, 100%. This is our lowest rated review.
Okay, well, right on.
Cool. Good for good for us. Also, I mean, I do enjoy doing the lower rated ones because I feel like I want to try to find something. I want to find a redeeming factor about it.
Redeeming thing about it, you know.
Yeah.
You want to get I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, so the box office. Let's do box office.
Oh yeah, that's what next.
Which
Okay.
I mean, just really, I mean, it was what number 122 end year and like 132 calendar. So, I mean, it was just it barely made its money back.
Yeah, it was a budget of around 30 million and made back like 31.1 million.
31.1. That's worldwide. Like it only made like 19 million domestically.
And I was reading a lot of it too. It made a lot of its money back via DVD sales. Not even like
really?
in the box office.
Well, and actually, the crazy thing with the DVD is that it had the extended version on it, which a lot of people talked about. Also, like we'll get into this maybe a little bit more, but like the full like we were talking about with Zack Snyder, Justice League, like the full version of the director's vision wasn't like presented in this movie.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to like a studio drama kind of shit for sure.
But before that, I mean, we'll get into that, and probably actually relatively soon.
Did you want to go off on like some titles, like the top 5, to give kind of the context for?
Oh
like,
yeah,
everything
like what year?
happening?
Yeah. So I mean, this came out 2006. So if you guys don't remember 2006, the top 5 movies of the year were Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
That's number 2.
That's the second one.
Number 3.
Yeah. Wait.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Pearl, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales? No,
Dead Man Tell No Tales is
the
last
fourth one.
No, that's the 5th one.
That's the 5th. How many are there?
There's 5.
There's 5?
Yeah,
Jeez.
because there was one with Penelope Cruz. And
and Blackbeard.
Yeah.
That's the 4th one.
Yeah. And that's the bottle.
Yeah, Blackbeard is somehow able to capture ships in bottles and...
Let's not talk about Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
Okay.
Number 2 movie was A Night at the Museum. Which actually, that movie's actually that's a nice little underrated classic.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
really
a fun family comedy.
Robin Williams is great in that.
Yeah.
Cars is number 3. X-Men: The Last Stand. Number 4.
About? That one's awesome.
The third one?
Moving on. I just wanted to get you riled up.
Yeah, you did that real fast.
The second one's the best out of those 3.
Yes. And then the number 5 is The Da Vinci Code. I just want to say number 6 because it's there because Superman Returns.
Which I actually didn't mind.
I don't really remember it. I don't know if I've actually seen it. I've just seen clips of Kevin Spacey killing it as Lex Luthor.
That's the saving grace.
Yeah.
Him as Lex Luthor was pretty good.
Although he has not saved his own grace in years later.
Yeah. But he was a pretty good Lex Luthor.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea of the year that we're coming out in. I mean, this is the year after I graduated high school. I graduated high school in 2005, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're like, oh, actually, I bought a house this year.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's what you want to ask. Oh, interesting.
Oh, memory lane. Anywho. So, yeah, let's move into writer, actually, who's the same person.
Yeah, director and writer is Kurt Wimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it went up again. Sorry.
No. He doesn't really have a huge list, but he does have a couple of like I mean, he has Equilibrium on like his directing and writing list, which I think is pretty. That's a huge cult classic.
Yeah, that definitely needs to go on our list at some point.
Yeah, because it's literally The Matrix almost.
Yeah,
well, I shouldn't say like that. I remember because like when Equilibrium came out, a lot of people were comparing it to The Matrix,
but that's
like
what also made it flop.
Yeah,
because of that. It's like it's not. I get the comparison, but it's not.
But
like
it's also
Matrix.
not at all like The Matrix because like it's not like they're not like entering and It's a
dystopian kind of world thing.
Which I mean, I will say that's one thing Kurt Wimmer.
Everyone wears black and they do martial arts. That's like that's the Matrix aspect of it.
Yeah, because there's no like blue pill or red pill or like entering into like a computer generated alternate reality or waking up into the real world where machines have taken over. Yeah, no, but we're not talking about that. He also, I think the next biggest thing that I really saw that he was director of, other than this movie, Ultraviolet and Equilibrium, was the Children of the Corn 2020 remake.
Which I didn't know they did.
I forgot about it, but
did you see it?
I've been wanting to watch it, actually.
I think it's been long enough.
It definitely has been long enough, and it's
Like,
actually
why not?
doesn't have a bad rating. Like
For what it is.
Yeah,
Oh.
like I think it got kind of just like, I mean,
Well, I know it's a prequel.
a lot of 2020 kind of got lost.
Yeah. Well, and I know that too. That's kind of cool. It's a prequel. It's not like a reboot. I mean, it is. It's a reboot, but it's not like.
Yeah.
But it's.
I didn't know that was technically a prequel.
Yeah, it's supposed to take place before the initial events of the first one. Is what I was reading.
Okay.
But I got to watch it to really know.
Yeah. And then writing sense. I mean, yeah, he wrote Equilibrium as well. Like I said, Child on the Corn. But the next biggest ones that I saw was Salt, which
Who's that? Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie, and then the Total Recall remake. He actually has a couple. Like he's done like he has like good remake guy. Looks like.
Total Recall, Point Break.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can only say because I liked the Total Recall remake.
I don't think I've seen it.
I
It's
didn't mind
Colin
it.
Farrell, Jessica Biel.
And Kate Beckinsale.
Is she in it
I
too?
think so. I think she's the other. I think so. I think because there's like a 3-way fight between them.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a funny joke because there was like one of the stunts they had to do, and then like Kate Beckinsale basically.
I
had to,
haven't
like,
seen it, so like, does it have the weird like?
I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
I
You know what I'm
remember-
trying to. You don't.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, but it's
Yeah.
like I think I've seen it once. I went through a kick where I watched like Dread, RoboCop,
Total Recall is
Recall.
actually a really cool idea of a movie.
Yeah, and it kind of just it played into the like the special effects went along well with it in this day and age. I do want to point out that he also wrote Street Kings,
Oh
the
yeah.
screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Street Kings is crazy. I love that movie.
And he also wrote Law Abiding Citizen.
And Law by Citizen was also really like cool. He does like cool reboots, and then he does kind of cool crime action movie.
Yeah,
things.
he's actually he's got a weird ring because it's like I feel like it's like the remake, which that's kind of more recent that he's been doing that. I feel
Yeah,
it
and
last like at least last 5 years or so, and then like crime drama whatever. But then like these like weird like female leading movie things like Ultraviolet, Salt. I think I saw another one other that kind of has that same aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like sci-fi action adventure.
Yeah.
I've never seen Salt though, so.
Again, I think I did one. It's one. I don't know. I think I did. I remember scenes in it, so I don't know if I just saw like clips throughout years or whatever, and then I just kind of filled in the gaps. But yeah, and like kind of Ultraviolet is kind of like the spiritual successor to Equilibrium
I never really thought about that.
because there's like some kind of like, anyways. But yeah, it kind of like, but Equilibrium's better.
Much better.
Like
one like a lot
better.
a lot better. Oh, Forrest Gump. Sorry.
What was?
Sorry.
Bringing me down, man.
What?
What next? What?
So I'm not in front of the microphone. I remember I looked up some stuff, just like a little bit like information stuff, like it's just like interesting, like following history of this is like so this was like 100% original idea by Kurt Wimmer, but then a novelization of the film was written post the movie,
Which is weird.
yeah, like this movie kind of it spawned, like this movie was created and it spawned more.
It created an idea that people wanted to follow through with.
Yeah,
in a
and which
weird
I
way.
also don't blame these people because this movie has interesting ideas and stuff in it. Like the hemophages and like the sci-fi tech I think is actually really cool, but we'll get into that later. This is just a quick little snippet. This is from the Wikipedia article. A novelization of the film was written by Ivan Navarro with more backstory and character development. The book differs from the film in a number of ways, including a more ambiguous ending and the removal of some of the plot twists, which, well, needed. And then an anime series titled Ultraviolet Code 044 was released by the Japanese anime satellite television network Animax and created by Madhouse, who I did not do research on either of whose those are. I just wanted to throw those names out there because I'm reading this thing.
Well, because also it critically didn't do great in the States, but it did do pretty okay in Japan.
The anime?
The movie.
Oh, really?
So that spawned again, kind of. With
I could see that.
with the
Okay, yeah.
novel. They were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
there's something in here that we like, so let's kind of take it and do our own thing with it."
And this is one of the first times I actually kind of went down the IMDb trivia rabbit hole. I don't know, like you've talked about doing that a couple of times, and I don't know how accurate these are.
Well, I take them and then I bring them up, I went and found another source
to like try to find the source, like prove it type thing.
Just to make sure it's not just someone just like typing in whatever, like looking
That's
for
fair.
an article or whatever it might be.
Well, I mean, there's the first two on here. I didn't do that research, but I do find these interesting. And not the first. It's like two of the first four. I think are actually really interesting things, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are true type thing. So like there was from studio executives, Kurt Wimmer was like forced to remove like 30 minutes of his original cut. So Kurt Wimmer and Milla Jovovich have like both disowned the film. Like they both are like, this is not, they don't, it's not a representation of the film that they worked on together. Is how they kind of like bring it up.
Yeah, like basically they did so much editing of the initial idea. It's no longer my project anymore.
Exactly. Like the studio executives, like they went from it being like, apparently there was a lot more character development. It was rated R originally.
Which it
should have been like no
R.
a lot of blood cut out of it. They edited it down to just this hour and a half slop of a film, in my opinion. That had like,
it's one of the most boring action movies I've ever seen.
yeah, and so I don't blame Kurt Wimmer and Milla Jovovich for just being like, no, not wanting it. So that's like reading that I was like this, and then watching the movie, I'm like,
well, yeah, and the studio is Screen Gems, which is a Sony owned.
Okay, and this isn't
company.
the first time like you and I have talked about this, about like studio executives, like especially around this time, like through like the late 90s, early 2000s, like studio executives were just fucking wrecking things, man. Just tearing things apart. Just throwing their own ideas in it. And yeah, ugh. And then the other one that I read on here was it's Kurt Wimmer, a comic book fan, decided to do the opening credits as a montage of Ultraviolet comic books since he had always wanted to make a comic book movie. Although Ultraviolet itself is not comic book property.
Yeah, I found that kind of confusing. I was like, oh, they're...
No, I remember I vaguely remember when I first watched this as a teenager or like young adult or whatever. And it was like the opening comic book panel stuff. And I was like, oh, this is a comic book. This would kind of be an interesting comic book to read. Only to find out that it's not a comic book at all. And I was like, oh, okay. And the intro was very confusing because of that.
Well, it's cool. It's a cool intro, especially because it goes through like different there are different art styles.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So it makes me wonder if this one is accurate or not. I mean, it makes sense for it to be kind of accurate because it like otherwise why would it have a comic book panel opening like that? It literally like it sets up the movie like maybe it's like it's going to be like a comic book movie, but it's not a comic book. It's not a comic book. I don't know. Like it literally it sets a weird like stigma for the movie before you even watch it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I kind of, especially for this era.
Yeah.
Because let's be like this comic book. I mean, I think the best one that came out around this time was probably V for Vendetta.
That's definitely up there. But a Spider-Man 2 had already come out as well, and X-Men 2 had already come out.
Yeah, but I mean like a strict like adaptation from a comic book, not from.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Not from a lore, but taking a comic book and then making it into live like a.
Would you consider Hellboy in that? Because Hellboy came out like 2004.
I don't know how on the nose that is. I don't know Hellboy well enough. I mean, but again, I know there's reoccurring characters.
Yeah.
But I don't know how if that plot. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so because that's his origin.
Yeah. So
yeah, I guess that would, and that one's pretty good. But I still think V for Vendetta is like the best one.
Well, I mean, also V for Vendetta is like it's just short novel. It's a graphic novel. It's not like a series of comic books.
Yeah,
so
it's
they
like
were
a
actually
standalone thing. Yeah. I guess what I'm kind of talking about is like it's not lore based.
Oh yeah. Or then but in Sin City,
plot based. When did that come out?
2000 something.
Cool.
We need to move forward from this conversation. We need to talk about Ultraviolet.
We are going to come back to this though, because one of the points I wanted to make is about this comic book thing. But let's give more of an idea of what this movie is and who's in it. And
so you want to talk about who's in it then next?
Or do you want to do reviews?
No. We'll do reviews last.
Okay. Sure. So we kind of ended up picking this one because we did Fifth Element.
Kind of like, it was pretty much just kind of was like, oh yeah, let's do it because of that.
Well, we did talk about doing Resident Evil. But they were like, nah, let's leave that for the movie video game adaptation thing. So we're like, what's another Milla movie?
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. No.
Which we were all both like, wait, Aeon Flux or Ultraviolet?
That's actually really what I bought the physical DVD for this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Where'd you find it?
Spin Cycle.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, we were just walking by and I was like,
but it wasn't the director's.
No, it was
damn.
I know it was like $5. I was like, sure. And two things about that was cool was that it had the movie trailers.
Oh, whoa!
Which I wrote all down because I was like, oh, this is a good way to like add like weird
put it date it. Put it in a date.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So I wrote all those down. But then also the fella that sold me the DVD was like, oh, this is a cool movie. And he was like talking about it. And I was like, yeah. And then long story short, he started describing this scene. It's like, oh, do you remember like the security grass? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like she's trying to break into the compound and like the grass is like
describing Aeon Flux.
Yeah, the grass is like alive, but it's like razor sharp and like cuts you up if you touch it. And I was like, no, I don't remember that, but that sounds awesome. And as we were leaving, I was like, I think that's Aeon Flux he's talking about, which I was like, totally fair, dude. Because these movies,
100%, yeah.
Like even the covers, like if you haven't seen it in 10 years,
they're the same movie.
You could totally blend them together really hard. But I just thought that was he was completely describing Aeon Flux, which I was like, I want to watch Aeon Flux now because everyone seems to remember that movie, but not this one.
Well, that's why we're here because Ultraviolet came out, guys. And we're talking about it.
So yeah, Milla Jovovich was in Fifth Element, and her most recent thing is the new Monster Hunter.
Yes,
movie. It was like,
and yeah, that's actually pretty much all I wrote down. Was like what you might recognize her most from, and then what she was in. Yeah. Also, plays a young child 6, Cameron Bright, which I only remember. I remember this kid. And he's done some newer stuff that I don't really recognize, but he was in Butterfly Effect. And then I think most notably for as young as he was, other than maybe this, was Godsend with Robert De Niro and Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
Which I think I've seen. Like I was looking at images of that movie and I'm like, have I seen this movie?
I definitely haven't.
Like, it looks super familiar.
I recognize him from Twilight.
Which I haven't seen any of the Twilights, so.
There you go.
And then the main bad guy, Daxus, is Nick Chinlund.
Who I love.
What did you recognize him from?
Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay, so I don't really remember Chronicles of Riddick.
He's Tombs.
He's
the bounty hunter.
He's in Con Air.
Yeah, I remember him in that.
Yeah,
he's one of the convicts.
Yeah, Billy Baxton or something. No, that's.
I know you're talking. Yeah, I remember him though.
And I distinctly remember him in 2 episodes of X-Files. Like he's
is he a cop in Training Day? Yes, he is.
Yes.
Okay.
In X-Files, he plays one of the few guys that actually has been able to kidnap Dana Scully.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like a weird like death fetish. So like his whole thing is like I don't know. He likes to like kill women and then like play with them like they're dolls.
This is X-Files?
This is X-Files, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like some Criminal Minds shit.
I mean, there's in the earlier seasons of X-Files, they didn't not all of the like monster episodes or whatever were all like paranormal and whatnot. But Mulder would try to find a paranormal thing with it, and sometimes Scully would be like, no, sometimes it's just science.
Yeah.
And then she would get kidnapped, and then he would have to be the action hero.
Oh.
And so like the first episode is like that happens, and then the second episode is him getting released. It's like 6 years later. Him getting released and then going after Scully again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do like that I asked if he was a cop in Training Day. That was a pretty stupid question. Majority of the characters are cops.
Well, I mean, they're either cops or they're gangsters or something, you know.
Anyways, I guess.
Oh, and then there's the other guy who plays Garth.
William Fichtner. Fichtner.
Which I honestly, like looking at like I've seen him in all of these things, but like the biggest one that I always connect him to is like the bank manager at the beginning of The Dark Knight.
Yeah, you and your friends are dead.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
I think of The Longest Yard remake with Adam Sandler, where he's like the chief, like the captain of the guards.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a great dick.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
he's like a really wonderful.
I haven't seen the movie in so long.
That's a good one. I mean, I guess that's kind of like all the main.
That's literally probably the biggest stars, and like, yeah, that's like the main cast, like main and supporting cast. Because everybody else, well, I guess like I don't know.
Well, because you have the main protagonist Milla, you have her ward that she's protecting.
Yeah.
You have Nick Chinlund, who's the bad guy, and then you have William Fichtner, the friend and ally.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I mean,
okay,
there's
there you go.
also the leader of the hemophage that plays Nerva, Sebastian Andrew, who I just didn't recognize from anything.
I didn't really. That's a lot. There's a lot of just kind of like new faces.
Yeah, it's,
that I just have never seen before.
Probably a lot of like people that just like I don't know. They're just they act in sci-fi or TBS or original, maybe theater people. I don't know. They have like a little bit here and there. Not a very big. I mean,
it's weird for our cast list to be that short.
I know. Literally, Milla Jovovich is the leading. Like she carried the her she's on the cover. It's literally just it's Ultraviolet starting her,
and her name is Violet. And
yeah,
it's kind of like on the nose. But yeah.
What do you got for reviews? Or did you have anything else you wanted to bring up before we get into reviews?
No.
Do you think we'll just naturally move into that stuff? Cool.
I think we will. How do we decide to say her name?
How did
Foosh?
Foosh? Yeah, Foosh.
So Cynthia Foosh from Common Sense Media. Ultraviolet is incoherent even by the silliest standards of other video game based movies, which I was like,
someone didn't do the research.
According to Violet, she lives in a future you may not understand, but how could you if nothing makes sense?
I like that so much. Oh man, that's what I should have used in my review. Damn it.
But yeah, I was like, I maybe she meant like it's like stylized like a video. I think that maybe that was a mistake in thinking it was a video game.
She may have just thought that because of Resident Evil and Milla Jovovich.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I could also see people thinking this being. I mean, okay, this movie just lives in such its own sci-fi action like a genre so well that it clearly feels like it should be a comic book movie. It feels like it should be a video game movie. It feels like it should be something else than a complete original idea. It feels like it came out of some.
Yeah, the fact that it's
somewhere.
Completely an original written idea that's pretty bonkers. Yeah, that it didn't stem from anything except pen and paper from one individual. Yeah. That is pretty weird.
I wonder who he stole it from. I don't think that. Not. What else you
got? James Dreyer from Empire. Unengaging, uninspired, and unwatchable. A criminal waste of time. Damn. And I tried to find.
You tried to find a good one.
I tried.
It's Cool World, just not gonna happen.
I was searching for a minute. Okay, I gotta put something in the spot. Guess it's gonna be this one. And I picked that one because it was the shortest and least mean one.
That's hilarious. I mean, but that's kind of how this movie is, though. Yeah, because I want to say it was fun to watch, but
you'll do yours because we'll get into that.
All right. So this is what I wrote for it. You know those movies you really liked as a teenager and you watch them again as an adult only to find out that the movie is not as good as you remember? Ultraviolet is that movie 10 times over plus some. To begin with, I will say that the creativity of this movie is really fun and interesting. An example, the sci-fi tech of dimension-bending pockets I found very interesting. What this movie falls short with is playing out every sci-fi action cliche possible that has existed up to its creation. The movie flat out becomes a cliche of itself. Over-the-top action sequences with filled with creative death spots always ending in a cool pose of badassdom, and of course the poorly placed one-liners. You want to care about the characters, but the lack of development leaves us in a poorly executed CG world of Milla Jovovich being extremely acrobatic and beating everybody up. The one attempt of character arc is with Milla's Violet. Violet was once a normal human. While pregnant, she became infected by the hemophage pathogen and transformed, losing her child. Upon finding the child sick, she goes through a story of self-redemption, finding some reason for life through surrogacy, all of which is forced into the story. At the end of it all, this movie left me unsatisfied and questioning the taste of movies from my teenage self.
You're judging past tilth.
Yeah. It was like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is even like with your saying like these action sequences stopping at a cool pose. It was even like I don't think they were cool. They were kind of
Cliche,
goofy. It was like because it was like every scene there was a fight. Okay, and it was Deadpool. Get ready for the superhero landing. Get ready for the superhero landing. It was and
it would happen like every like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or every minute in the middle of the fight.
There's a lot of fight scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of fight scenes.
That's all it is basically.
And they all it's like a routine of like ching pose. Ah, cool shot.
They can't see you, but he's posing right now. Yeah, I mean, like to kind of explain what Jacob was saying too is like so this whole idea is it takes place 50 years from now, and a global pandemic has happened, which we keep accidentally doing during.
What was it? We're right here. Is this where COVID is going? Question mark. LOL.
Because the first one was Johnny Mnemonic, right? Yeah. Yeah, we just keep doing these.
And Johnny Mnemonic took place in 2020 or 2021. No,
oh,
2021.
Yeah. That was funny. But yeah, so basically, like, there's this pathogen that has spread across the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like isolated. It's the entire planet. But it basically...
It's like a vampire virus.
But, like, not?
Yeah.
But it is?
It's like they now
But it's like the writer, like, what's his name?
Kurt Wimmer?
Yeah, Kurt Wimmer just didn't want to commit to the vampire.
It's like I want it to be vampires, but I don't want it to be like vampires.
Well, because also, like, I mean, at that point, if you did make it just straight up vampires, this would be real close, like, to Blade, but, like, in the future.
Like, or Underworld? Oh no, because Underworld has lichens and whatnot.
But that's like, they're like a secret, I guess Blade 2 is also a secret society.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know.
They're not a secret society in this. They're like well known.
Yeah, like.
It's like everybody knows like hemophages, whatever.
I know, and that's what they're called, hemophages.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that you get like super strong, quick vampire powers, basically. But you don't burn in sunlight. You can get light sensitivity.
Like you can see. You can see in the dark when there's just like limited light really well.
Yeah. You do grow bigger canines, like fangs.
But do you suck blood?
They never.
But then also like the hemophages are trying to like break into the blood bank,
which is
because do they live on blood?
They never
talk about them living.
Yeah,
on,
in the very beginning they're breaking into a blood bank, but they never say why.
They're like, oh well, why they were trying? Oh, maybe they were trying to infect the blood for everybody. Like there's actually a weird like everybody's like identity is found with blood. Even like at the very beginning when Violet is putting in like the like pass to get into the secret fucking facility, that thing is spinning with blood vials.
Yeah, like blood is
blood is now just like this weird like circuitry in this world.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I didn't think about that.
I was like, why is blood like obviously like
there's something missing in this movie.
100%. It's like bleh.
It's just, and it's not like what we're saying like with the Fifth Element, where you just kind of go because of the world it's in. You go, okay, fine, I'll take that. This is one of those. It's like, no, you needed to explain this. I can't just take this at face value.
But I live in a future that you wouldn't understand.
Because you're not telling us anything, Milla. You're not saying anything. But yeah, it's just like.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a little bit of like that. That entire intro before it gets to her actually like getting to break into that thing.
That is so Resident Evil.
That intro?
Yeah, just like her like voiceover. It's I am Alice all over
again.
Yeah. Like or yeah, because Resident Evil came out first, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, like it also like the weird like ninjas in a ball coming out of the helicopter.
I called them ninja marbles.
Ninja marbles, I like that. And like that whole sequence and like they kill all of the doctors and they go in there and all of a sudden it's a setup and then they get shot. It's like, why did you let all those doctors die if you knew they were coming? What kind of setup was this?
Yeah, and this wasn't even like they just came, like there's like they're like in the center surrounded by pillars and the setup is just the guys coming out from behind the like they're literally just standing behind the pillars like, oh, we got them.
It's like
aren't you superhumans?
Like what the fuck is like literally that, and but also it kind of it gives a quick little explanation of like how people react to the hemophages and like their blood apparently is super contagious and blah 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 blah. But I literally like it ended and it started going into like Violet's story, like actual story, and I was like, what the fuck was that opening? What the fuck did I just see? Like,
yeah, and then also like this whole thing, like they with the whole pathogen itself. Does it really? I didn't really catch. Does it explain that like you may become a superhuman or you may die? It's like you just be. But then you have like a clock, right? You have 12 years to live. But they only bring that up with Milla. She only has 12. No one else seems concerned about this 12-year timestamp that you. So that's.
But everyone else seems to just be living. I don't know. Like literally, it's like it. It's a world we don't understand, Tommy. All right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why this whole like the Milla and Kurt like kind of disowning this movie makes sense because it doesn't make sense.
No, yeah, whatever was released is literally dude, it's hot garbage.
And that's why it's like and that's why the whole because it's like at the end of the day like Kurt Wimmer isn't like I wouldn't say by any means as I like Street Kings and he wrote the screenplay. I like Equilibrium. He obviously can do like action and sci-fi kind of stuff. So really
he has really interesting ideas for things.
Yeah, so it makes sense that the studio completely bogarted and took this project completely out of his hands because like this is so out of character for this person as a writer and director.
From like the examples of what he has done.
And granted, they're not a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a handful that you're like, okay, like sure.
I mean, this movie in a weird way with maybe like way that he fought against like studio on like for this movie might be why he hasn't done that much as well post this. You know?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's why he just does writing because it's like he got so. This was like his. What this is kind of like for Luke Benson. This is kind of Besson.
Yeah,
I said Benson. Like this was like what he kind of considered his directorial debut. Like personally, because it was
other
like
than Equilibrium, really?
Yeah, well, because it was like his first like I don't know, like he really took pride in this idea and really wanted to like do it, and then it got so destroyed that he's like, maybe I'm good, I'll write.
I'll just be a writer.
Fuck it. And at that point, another director has to deal with this shit. Like
that's I'm
like, oh man, way to break someone's spirit, you know? Like,
thank you, Screen Gems. Not bringing out any gems anymore, apparently.
Because I mean, like his most recent thing is that Children of the Corn thing, right? Yeah.
Which I really do want to give it a shot. Fuck, dude. I don't know what else to really say about this movie other than just like maybe bring it. Oh, dude, the CG of this movie is so bad. It was so bad. Like for 2006.
Yeah, the fact that we did 1997. And it was
like super dope,
significantly better. Yeah. Like I was like, that's pretty bad.
It looks like an unfinished.
It looks unrendered.
Yeah.
Like they didn't finish rendering it.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, for you $30 million, and it's that much CG.
Yeah.
Like it really did. It looked like this is what we're thinking for our video game. Like this is kind of like the world we want to design. Yeah, cool. Get the go ahead. All right, let's finish. It's Cyberpunk on PS4.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
you know, it's like it just
all blocky and like not smooth.
No, that's the thing. It is smooth. Like even everything is really. That's the thing. There's no texture to anything.
Yeah,
everything is like a weird Snapchat filter. Like getting rid of all the blemish. They don't look. And it like for depending on the movie, that would be fine. Like if you were doing some kind of cyberpunk, Matrixy kind of thing, and they were in this kind of augmented reality, sure, that makes sense. But this is just supposed to be in the future during a pandemic, and
the future just looks poorly CG,
and everyone's glowing. I don't know. The whole fucking thing was just so bizarre.
Yeah.
You're just gonna say yeah for the next?
I really don't know what else to say. I mean, I had to force myself to stay awake watching this movie.
I almost fell asleep at the end.
I had to Yeah,
and it's an hour. That is the longest.
It's an hour and a half long. It's not even an hour. It's like an hour 28 technically.
It's like the longest hour and a half I've had in a really long time.
It drags so fucking hard, and like I got to a point like I thought the movie was close to being done, so I just opened my laptop and started writing the review, and I'm like, wait, how much more of this movie is there? Half hour left.
Like, what's gonna happen?
I literally wrote that review like through finishing the movie, like. like I had my review finished at the end of the movie, pretty much.
This and Johnny Mnemonic were the two that we've reviewed that I just couldn't get behind, like, at all. I found the martial arts to be like really boring and lazy.
It was the choreography of it. I mean, the choreography of it actually isn't bad. Like it's not filmed well. It's super American cinema of like fight scenes where it's like cutting super fast in between like hits and stuff to make it seem a lot more cinematic and cooler than it really is. That whole like the zooming in and out of like the bullets or whatever with the gang that like surrounded her on the rooftop.
Oh, that was a rough one.
That was so hard. I'm like, why is this so strangely stylized? This is actually very not fitting. But that's also what I was talking about, was like how this movie like fucking leans into so many weird cliches that it becomes a cliche of its own.
Well, I mean, like, but one of the coolest things that I think, and that's just kind of like almost like a weird Easter egg, even with that rooftop scene you're talking about, is he brought back the gun kata from Equilibrium.
Oh, was that from Equilibrium?
Yeah, it's like, for anyone, it's like basically this like martial art idea that he basically like created with like help, obviously, with people, but it's a martial arts mixed with gunplay. And Equilibrium, the idea is like, from starting position, like the movements you do, you can shoot a 360 radius around you, hitting every target.
Oh, that's okay.
From a stationary position, but you know, like take one step to the left and then your elbow goes out that way, So it's like this whole idea that he made this like weird martial art thing for gunplay.
Huh.
And they brought it back, and it wasn't until that scene I was like, oh shit, that's totally like a version of like this gun, because she didn't have any gun, she was dodging.
Yeah, so it's
so
kind
they
of
were shooting each other. So it was like an opposite version where she was just moving out of the way. I was like, that's cool, but not shot well, Like
no,
it wasn't
was super cheesily shot.
And you saw like the ripples kind of the bullet. I don't know. It was,
God,
like those bullets aren't there.
So fucking, oh man.
And it comes back to that thing. It's just kind of like it's just a huge bummer when a studio can come and just completely, in all honesty, piss away $30 million.
Just trying to make something that they think is going to be the moneymaker.
Yeah, and I remember reading too, there was something about they didn't want a rated R thing. This is when Blu-ray was first.
Yeah, no, they didn't want, like, a lot of studios have, like, especially during this time, shied away from rated R material, especially for like sci-fi action, because they wanted teenagers to go see it. They
wanted to make more money off of it.
Like rated R was either going to be like a serious like adult drama or maybe a raunchy comedy, but even like around this time they were starting to like try to like force like raunchy comedies to become PG-13. So they were taking out either like the gratuitous nudity and whatnot, but then they were just like like pushing the line with like innuendos of sexual situations and whatnot. But like even still, it's like some of those movies that are like rated PG-13, it's like really the sexual situations that these essentially children, like teenagers, are putting themselves in, this movie should still be rated R.
Yeah.
But like just because you're not seeing boobs or they're not saying fuck all the fucking time, it's like, oh no, it's PG-13 because this movie has some crazy weird twists, I guess I want to say.
Like the question mark at the end of that, the upward inflection.
Like, so, okay, 6, like...
The ward.
The kid, yeah. He can just suddenly talk. It's like, oh, you've been able to talk this entire time, but you've been staring at everybody like you're an alien. Like...
He was hiding it from...
Yeah.
What was that weird briefcase he was in? Yes, there's a child in a briefcase.
Oh yeah, no, it's the dimensional pocket stuff. I really like that technique.
Really?
I don't know. So
I thought it was also the way they like went about showing it was so
badly CGI'd. Yes,
super cheesy.
So okay, I think what it comes down to for me with that is it reminds me of one of my favorite D&D magical items of all time, and that's a bag of holding. So it's a magical like sack bag that can hold up to like depending on how strong it is, like 40 pounds, 200 pounds, 500 pounds, like
so it's Santa,
tons.
It's Santa's bag.
Yeah, pretty much Santa's bag. So like that's the only thing I can imagine is like that's what a dimension bending pocket would be like. So you think about what you want, you reach into it, and you just pull it out, and it's there. Or the sorting hat with fucking sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of like to hear it be called like a dimension bending pocket. Like, also, when the fuck did they learn how to like break the fourth dimension? Like,
just hearing Jim Gaffigan. Dimension bending pocket.
Dimension bending pocket. It swallows your stomach.
And it's like powered by a Mr. Shadow.
Yeah,
basically, which I thought was kind of weird. I was like, hey, look, he's little now.
So yeah, this child, 6.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so like, I need a clarification on this.
Well, like from me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
like,
sorry. Oh, who else?
Yeah. Satan, I need some clarification over here. Ghosts of Rockbox, talk to me. I know you didn't like that one. When she cries onto him, does he become a hemophage?
Yeah, it gets in his. Apparently, it's so contagious. I thought it was just blood, but that implies that.
Yeah, but it's not like you have to just kind of make that connection when she has the flashback, like, oh, my tear fell into his eyeball while he was dying or dead already, so then saved him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh, I need to go save the boy now.
Well, that's that
after Garth's all like, I saved you because I love you. And she's like, I don't love you.
Why can't you open up? And yeah, that's one of those, like, again, I think we're just missing something there. I mean, like, in a bad way, that whole Garth Milla scene was one of the better written dialogues of the movie.
Oh, God, no. I will get that's
honestly.
I was trying to I wanted to try to write my review kind of like from a feminist lens on this, because I do feel like Violet's character, since like there is like it's not about her trying to save it's not about it's not a love story at all.
No.
There I know that there is through certain feminist lenses, having it being more like a surrogacy of motherhood type thing is still kind of putting women in a specific box of they can only be lovers, or they can only be women, or they can only be lovers, or they can only be mothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
see my confusion. Wait, yeah.
What?
Yeah, they can only be lovers for men, or they can only be mothers.
Mm-hmm.
But also, she is a very independent action hero.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of that too is the fact that because she was a hemophage being experimented on,
mm-hmm.
they took her child away from her, in a sense, taking away her decision.
Yes.
And putting her in a box, basically, quite literally, to be experimented on, and because she had just gotten pregnant and then got infected.
Yeah.
Then immediately was quarantined, basically.
Yeah.
And then it was the choice was taken away from her.
Yeah. I mean, but this is also one thing I was saying, I remember my ex-girlfriend at the time, she really liked the movie because for her it was really cool to see this supermodel woman who's very much how my girlfriend wanted to be a model and was trying to do this, of someone could do something like that, you know what I mean? She connected with Violet as an awesome female badass. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
but I'm,
and so it's I think in a way it's kind of showing this to a young girl. It's hey, you can be a badass superhero too. I think there's a positivity with that. But when you actually analyze the movie, the feminist lens just kind of shatters because of what they force her into as a box and as a character. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, because that's one thing I really liked. When Garth opens up to her about that, she's no, that's not what this is about. And I was you know what, I like that.
Oh, you mean the whole I love you?
Yeah, exactly. When she's why did you save me? It's why didn't you just let me die? She's what did she say? She's I was there.
Yeah, she was like basically my fighting was over. Why'd you put me back into this world of conflict in a sense? But then she goes and stalks her ex-husband and his wife and 2 kids.
What?
Yeah, like right after that.
Huh?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, he says like, why don't you open up to anyone? Like basically. And then it cuts to her like at like some kind of like concert gala kind of thing, and she's up on a balcony and she's looking down, and because you just saw the husband for a brief moment in the very beginning, but he is standing like in a tux, and a woman walks up with 2 children and asks, "Oh, is the intermission over?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, just about." And then he goes to like brush his little girl's like cheek, and then like a teardrop falls on his hand. And when they look up at the balcony, she's gone.
I don't remember that at all.
So it's like, I think that's like, that was the answer to his question, but in the cinematic form is like, I was with this man.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe we watched like 2 different versions.
Like maybe I have the underrated one?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's the 6 minutes they're talking
because
about.
it literally goes from that, pretty much like what I remember is like her, like all that happening, and then all of a sudden she's like fucking loading a gun, getting ready to fucking off herself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I have the underrated one because that's in between that.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, so that's like, it's because, and it's the development is that after she was quarantined and everything, her husband just basically either 1, abandoned her, or 2, thought she was dead.
I thought he was dead.
Because like they even say that when they put them into these quarantine camps, that people just went missing. So it
crazy. Okay.
So it implies that they were experimenting until they died, basically. So, but he basically has started an entirely new life with a new woman and his own a new family, basically, and that's like part of the reason that she's like.
That actually adds a little more to character development for her.
I wonder. Maybe I do have the underrated one.
I mean, do you know if it was like, was it more than an hour 30 minutes? Do you remember?
No, it was like about that.
Well, because like the unrated one only has, what I read was actually only 7 minutes longer.
Yeah, I mean, it was around but even then, an hour and 28, an hour and
36.
Yeah, like maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe I was falling asleep at that moment.
Maybe just that moment. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to talk about the weird twist because we haven't even talked about Daxus, the bad guy.
Oh, Toombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to confuse anybody, but that's just, I liked him a lot in Chronicles of Riddick. He was funny. He was Toombs, and that's how he talked.
I'm starting to vaguely remember him now.
I should have taken the money.
I mean, like, because, oh God, what?
So the bad guy is like he's an evil version of like this, like he's a CDC operative, like the head,
but he's like head of the company.
Yeah, like he's the head of a private CDC company
that like controls all of the blood intake of the world,
and is like on the crusade of eliminating
the hemophages.
Hemophages.
And so it's sick. We should say what 6 is actually carrying, and it's fucking blood.
So this whole time you think it's like a WMD, specifically like a dirty bomb in a sense to like specifically kill
the hemophages.
Yeah.
Like if his blood gets released into the air, and then like all the hemophages would die.
If they turn him into and put him in an aerosol can, and like I don't know, they don't really explain how they.
And then they melt, or they like their flesh burn like in Blade and whatnot. No, they didn't really.
Basically, they all die.
Yeah. But then Violet thinks that maybe there's like a pathogen, like the antithesis of that inside of 6's blood, where it could be the cure for the hemophages. Then you find out that the kid just knows the cure because he was in the test facility memorizing shit, and they had found the cure for hemophages a long time ago, and he wrote it down on one of Garth's pieces of paper, and the Garth's like, I can crack the code. I'm rushing through this storyline really fast now. But there's like Daxus, like, let's just fucking talk about how he's a hemophage.
Yeah, like this whole time like he's this weird germaphobe. He's got like little scuba gear things up his
nose. Yeah, it's like supposed to like help
filter,
but he doesn't have a mask on, so it's
he's wearing gloves constantly, and everything is like sealed.
Yeah, like airtight sealed.
Yeah,
like,
before he drinks it or eats it or.
So strange, so over the top. It's just like the stupid over the top
sci-fi shit.
Yeah,
like this will
the cliche of itself.
Yeah, it's like let's look the cliche.
Shut up.
like this would look cool, and you're like,
but then it's revealed at the end, like, and also like apparently he's, well, I think because he's a hemophage, like now he's also really good at sword play as well. Like he can fight. Ha 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 ha.
That was.
It's so fucking like. That's like almost like that's like video game like cliche right there. It's like all of a sudden this CEO is like a fucking like master swordsman for whatever reason.
It was real Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like the biodome closes up and goes dark, and then they start fighting with fire swords. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And like so like it's revealed that he's actually been a hemophage the entire time. I didn't get his point
of wanting to wipe out.
I didn't get it.
He just wanted to fucking kill people. It seemed like.
Yeah, like I was like. Like he, but
at this point of the movie, was so far checked out. I didn't really care what the fuck he was saying.
But like, he kind of was explaining it in a sense that it was basically it was like profit. As long as there's
that's right. It's that
we did so good at killing the hemophages that we're gonna be out of business. So now let's make the humans our next.
So it's like we'll have like the cure for all of this stuff, or like we can expose people and then turn them and then like
and they have to come for us for the cure.
And like people will be lining up out the doors for what we have to give them. It's pretty much what
pharmaceutical companies
have been doing for the last 35 fucking years.
So they'll be doing it in 50 from now.
Do you have diabetes? You know what this feels like.
It's fucking.
Hey, Indigo. Huh.
It's just like fucking ridiculously. I don't know. It was very.
I mean, fuck, dude. I should have wrote my review about that. I should have. But it's so hard. Like, oh my god. That's the redeeming factor of this movie. Really, is like I forgot to compare it to like modern day. Really, it's like
you compare it to the corruption of the medical.
Yeah, there we go. That's the good part of this movie. It's a parallel to how fucked our goddamn pharmaceutical system is. I mean, most sci-fi stuff's fucking. Cliche,
and 6 is a clone.
Oh yeah, that's right. 6 is a clone of Daxus.
But wouldn't if he was a clone, wouldn't he already be a hemophage? I guess it depends on when they got his sample.
What kind of sample they get in here? Sorry,
blood. Sorry. In this world, it's gonna be blood. That's everything. Is blood.
Well, but wait, if they already had the cure for the hemophage, they could have cloned him, cleaned the blood from the hemophage to then clone the. Why do I try to defend these things?
I don't know.
What part of me wants to always just like reach out and like find the reason for things, why it makes sense, connecting the dots. I don't know if that's a rhetorical question or if I actually want you to answer that, but I'm just thinking about that right now. Because I feel like I'm always doing that. And I've noticed it the more I've listened to us. Like, I didn't realize how often I do this. And, like, I do it all the fucking time. I don't know what else to talk about for this movie.
Yeah, neither. Okay. So, yeah. I wrote down it's a sci-fi transporter.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way, actually. I was like,
basically.
Like, wow, I put Jason Statham in here, and then maybe it might have done better. No, not really. Actually, I will give, like, Milla's performance isn't horrible. Like, I just think it just like I think what the script or what you see in this movie just isn't. It's just all of it's not a good representation of what this movie could have been.
That's the thing, though. It's like yeah, she did fine, but it's also just the screenplay itself. Just there wasn't really any dialogue that was.
Well, we don't know what was cut out.
No, totally. But I'm saying for the final product.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Milla did fine, but it's like she didn't do great.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing happening, really. It was just a couple lines of dialogue, quick phone call, action scene.
Yeah.
Quick phone call, meet up with somebody,
it's like
fight scene.
The longest scenes of like dialogue really were with Garth when they were like on the down low.
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of get like the most like story, really.
Yeah, that's about it. And then it's because it's like, then she becomes kind of warring with two different factions, so they're not really talking and they're just trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
It's like there's just not really and I mean, you could probably take out a lot of the dialogue and just keep the ones with Garth and kind of figure it out. Okay, well, they want this kid for some kind of cure, got it. And then the last one when she's like a hologram and he kind of gives us his final evil montage.
Oh yeah. And when that's when Six is
monologue.
like,
Sorry.
yeah, when Six like she's like ready to go like fight the 700 fucking people, and Six is like, you're either gonna watch me die or you're gonna make me watch you die.
Yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of the dialogue was just like it became filler because it was missing pieces.
Yeah. Also, the ending. I don't get the ending.
What, him becoming a hemophage and then they will go off into the distance together and.
But yeah, no, I thought like, is she like, are they gonna go back to Garth's thing and like get cured, or like I thought she was like about to die, and then the kid's like. But
didn't Garth like fix her?
I don't. Yeah, it's like I thought. Like literally, it seemed like if I would have watched her die, I'd be like, thank you for this awesome ending. Not to say that I want to watch Milla die, you know, but like I think that would have been a better ending for the movies. She went through this entire thing to then save this kid who can save the world.
Oh, okay. Like a sacrifice kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did like when she fought the guy with the ponytail and the dreadlocks, and she used that as like the main form of weapon.
You mean yeah, like that was literally, that entire fight sequence was like, I'm going to use these guys' hair against them.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. She choked out one guy with his ponytail.
And then ripped another guy's fucking
and then
dreads off.
Like grabbed him by the dreads and then pulled him in to meet her knee and hit him so hard that the dreads came off.
Yeah.
And like knocked him out. And it was like, it kind of had build up because they're like, we're hemophobia, we're just as fast, we're just as strong. And she's like, yeah, but are you a fraction of how pissed off I am?
Yeah.
And then like 15 seconds go by and she kicked the shit out of him.
It's like when, dude, that's the Con Air when Nicolas Cage is like standing up to go fight everybody and he's talking to his friend that's dying. He's like, I'm going to show you God does exist. And then he turns around, like someone shoots him in the arm and Nicolas Cage doesn't even flinch, like getting shot in the arm, and like punches a guy in the face.
You remember that movie way better than I do.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
But it had like a lot of build up, like it was going to be this big fucking like, ooh, the hemophage is fighting. And then
then she just kicks their ass. And then she goes into the fucking like cathedral or whatever the fuck that place was, with a weird clock in the well. And with...
Wait, that's a good point. Why was there a well in the middle of this cathedral?
And also this weird giant futuristic clock. And like, why were they at a cathedral?
Why is there a well in the cathedral? Like,
and then like
in the middle of it.
And then like just wave after wave of like hemophages with swords come after her, and she's just fucking taking them out left and right. It's like, oh my, like, ugh.
All of cool poses. Don't forget cool poses.
There's like tension. Remember when you were talking about tension last week? There's no tension in this movie.
There's none.
There's zero tension in this movie.
No, you're like, okay, she's gonna, because a lot of it was too. It was like, let's say hit, defeat, hit, defeat. Hit,
defeat, pose. Hit, defeat, pose.
Yeah, it was like, okay, got it.
One-liner.
Hit, kick, pose. But
I see you got your sword too.
The swords were cool though. They like
I remember. Yeah,
like,
I remember. I remember the swords being really cool. Yeah, they didn't
look very practical, but
very unpractical. And also the unpracticability was kind of like proven when her hands are all fucking cut up. Remember that's for when she first gets in.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, okay. You know, I think we should give a judgment rating on this.
You can totally skip this.
Yeah, you don't.
If you want to watch Milla Jovovich be like a cool Jovovich, sorry, be a cool badass. Watch Fifth Element. Watch Resident Evil.
Yeah, watch Resident Evil.
Resident Evil's like it's not.
Fuck it, this. I haven't seen Monster Hunter yet. And I've heard it's hot garbage. Watch Monster Hunter and see this instead, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like even like Resident Evil, you go in like you know what it is. You know, like it's a over the top zombie movie. Cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I do want to say like the one kind of going back into that like novel thing really quick. I think you could take this and you could make a cool comic book out of this.
Oh, 100%. I'm interested about. I want to look up that anime.
Yeah,
and see if that anime is any cool.
Because like, and that's what I meant to bring up when we were doing our fun facts and everything, and that was the point that I kind of wanted to just touch base on.
Oh yeah,
the bare principle of this, I think you could make this a really cool like limited series graphic novel idea.
Yes,
and really dive into what this disease is, what are the benefits, obviously that it has, the pros and cons of it.
Yeah, I mean, this could definitely be like a thing that lives in a realm of like a Ghost in the Shell, where it's like it's short series with like different stories inside of this world, maybe all following Violet.
Yeah, and do basically make a prequel series of this movie on what she's been doing once she escaped the facility and was basically fighting against these humans that wanted to destroy her people, basically. Yeah. I think you could fucking make a rad series out of that.
No, this movie has like I was saying, really interesting sci-fi tech. It's a very interesting world that it seems actually pretty well thought out in a weird way. It just you don't see it in this movie.
Yeah, you could transfer this and this would be a very, I feel, easy transfer into comic book world.
Yes.
Just with the visuals, the colors, the vibrance, you could do
the opening sequence.
I can think of 6 different styles that you could do like this and you make it work. And hell, do a limited series and every single one do a different artist.
I mean, it's kind of what Ghost in the Shell started to do, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I'll totally live in the Ghost in the Shell world and just kind of expand on this make a Ultraviolet universe. Cool. I'd read that.
Yeah.
Especially because we already know a book came out after the movie. What?
Expanding upon it and changing some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I wonder how much he sold if he sold the rights to it, if the studio owns the rights to sell for that.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you went up to them and this is my concept idea and you had some cool writing already done, I feel like you'd be like, hell yeah.
It's so weird for someone to write a novel. Would you have to buy the rights for the story? How do you buy the rights of a movie? The movie is going to be movies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a concept of a book, and that's money. That's good money for a novelist, you know.
I don't know, because I mean, even then, could you just buy the screenplay, because that's because they edit it, they change it, the original screenplay or story concept,
and just get a thumbs up from the writer, go ahead and adapt it.
Yeah, because it's their content.
Or maybe it's give me 10% of whatever profits or something.
Yeah, because at that point, the studio changes it so much, it's a different project. It's no, this is based off the original concept idea.
Oh, man, yeah, that's interesting.
But it's going back, it's go and watch Fifth Element, Resident Evil, even
watch
Monster
Aeon Flux. Apparently people remember that better.
Yeah, which I think we need to do at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do it.
But that 4.5 definitely deserved, because
I really think lower in a weird way. I could give it a 4.
Yeah. Okay, I'll jump back because this would
4.2.
This would be the point. No, but the special effects, no, the choreographed fighting, no. The lack of story. Yeah, it's just not. And even the bad guy, he wasn't a great bad guy. He was whatever. There just. I mean,
if this movie was designed to be a cliche of itself, you know, it was meant to be making kind of being a satirical idea of sci-fi action movies, you know, it was aware of itself, but it was just too serious for everything that it did.
Yeah. So I guess we'll put this on the Tommy and Jacob skip it.
Unless you want to watch it, obviously we're not
here to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was probably never gonna watch that ever again.
Yeah. No. It was a womp womp. We were both excited.
Yeah. I was actually really all right, cool. And then I started reading reviews and I was like, oh no. Here we go.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Kind of another short. I'm kind of digging maybe the shorter episodes now.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it. You know,
unless there's actually something for us to talk about.
Yeah, right. So next week, we're just doing a banter. I don't know. I think we need to figure out what we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that after this.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Please subscribe, tell your friends.
Share it around the world. Blast it on the loudspeakers driving around one specific neighborhood so only those people can hear us talk. Don't do that. Maybe do that. I don't know.
No, don't do that.
Noise pollution. Use our voice for noise. Use us as interrogation tactics on your worst enemies.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Bye.